I want to turn our attention to this XRP and Ripple warning, ruling from last week. So for the time being, anyway, until something else is opened up, we have XRP being deemed a commodity, which means this is the big thing. XRP likely would be the most likely to be called a security out of any of these tokens in existence, practically. So that's why this is so ridiculously bullish for all of these other tokens, for these exchanges, really for the whole industry, because if it's going to be called a commodity, then everything's going to be called a commodity. That's just how it's going to be until the SEC tries to finger their way into it again, although Mr. Burns, Gary Gensler, may not be there for all that much longer. I want to ask you, Ewok, to you, somebody who has been around, multiple cycles and really been in this since not necessarily the early days, but you've been around the block a long time. What do you feel like this ruling does mean for crypto exchanges? Because we saw what like Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, what some of these people were saying in reaction to this. What does it mean for, as I mentioned, the altcoin industry as a whole? Bitcoin dominance dropped a precipitous drop immediately off the news, which it should, and it's going to continue. And what does it mean for the industry in general? I know there's 3 big questions, but what do you think this means?
Well, as I said in the intro there, I think it just sets a great precedent for the rest of crypto. Like you said, Ripple has always been one of those very curiously almost security-ish tokens anyway. You have a lot of the things that they look for: a centralized founder, location, building, for God's sakes. I mean, they have a staff of people. So there is expectation of work from others because they're working on things constantly. It's got a very centralized ownership as well. Garlinghouse owns a big portion, or the Ripple, whatever they are. They own quite a bit of that. So, just the ruling in itself, it sets a great precedent for the rest of them to say, well, you deemed this a commodity, so come on, where are we at? And I think that's why Gensler was kind of upset. His reaction was upset with the ruling, only because now they can't easily lump a bunch of things into very similar to Ripple. Like I said, it's just the precedent that it sets for other lawyers to take that case and use the ruling and say, well, you have to stay consistent somewhat. So here's this, and here's how much more decentralized or, non-reliant of all of these other things that we are. And you have to kind of rule in our favor, no matter who we are is. I don't mean anybody.
Yeah, I get it.
We, but, my token is, not near what this is, and you've already ruled this one. So yeah, I do think it sets the precedent for future cases, and yeah, it's good. It's good for the overall space for a lot of different tokens.
Totally agree. Especially when you think about the max FUD and the things that were going on in the Hex community back in December-ish of 2022. I mean, not just Hex, I mean, everywhere, but I mean, specifically in relation to the SEC, there was, there was news that some people that have streamed in the past have received some kind of notice or questionnaire or whatever the hell you want to call it in the mail from the SEC, which was really just, have you guys ever been paid before? It really wasn't that big of a deal at all.
Right.
But, just little things like that. There was so much fear around those kind of things just a mere 6 to 7 months ago. And now here we are where it's like, oh, okay, well, everybody's just fine. I want to ask you on the exchanges side of things, because this is obviously great for them too. I mean, Coinbase, and here's the thing. So you brought up Gary Gensler, whose name is obviously going to come up in this discussion because he is the, head controlling figure of the SEC for the time being anyway, until he's gone or it's totally reformed, as there is legislature to now try to do. But with crypto exchanges, Brian Armstrong came back. I forget who it was that didn't even have XRP listed at the time being. I think Gemini, maybe Coinbase too. I can't even remember how it was, but multiple didn't even have XRP listed anymore. What do you think this means for exchanges, not just with XRP, because we could care less about that token, but in terms of what they are listing, the clarity, the freedom for them, and then juxtaposed with Coinbase still being sued at the moment by the SEC? What do you make of that?
Well, that whole situation is still quite interesting to me because they still want Coinbase to be the holder and custodian
Hmm.
of the BlackRock funds when that ETF goes live. So I think it opens up freedom to them to do kind of whatever they want at this point. And they were one of the ones that did not have Coinbase or XRP listed was Coinbase. And they
Right.
reactivated it. So it's back on there. Um, yeah, I think it gives them freedom to list kind of, I don't want to say whatever they want. I mean, I know they have a process in place. I don't know what the steps are to get listed on Coinbase. I don't know that there really ever was an official like apply to, I know with Binance, you have to spend a bunch of money to even have them look at it and list it and give them a
Tokens.
large portion of the tokens for liquidity purposes. But yeah, again, it just opens up a lot of freedom for them to do a lot of different things and not so much worry about the rulings because again, the precedent has been set. So good
Hmm.
thing all around. Good thing for investors. Good thing for the exchanges. So
Yeah. Yeah.
quite
And
bullish. Yeah.
it is bullish all around, and yeah, it will have, dare I say, ripple effects on the whole industry over the next couple of
But
years. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Dad joke extraordinaire over here, but yeah, it's going to be really good the next couple of years, I think. And again, yeah, to have that precedent already set is great. This has to be. I don't really care about this that much, but I mean, Gensler has to be gone. I would think sometime here soon. The SEC, is not only not really serving at all the purpose in the crypto industry in any way that they claim to do, they're actually detrimental and playing a part in hurting people even more. So,
yeah, I agree
I
with
think
that
that'll be
statement.
realized.
They haven't
Yeah.
done much good to protect anybody. They were not involved in Celsius. They weren't involved with BlockFi or
Yep.
Luna or any of the FTX. In fact, they were in bed
Yeah, they were
entertaining
involved.
Sam
Yeah.
with
They were involved.
FTX. So I
Yeah.
mean, that just goes to show you that they really haven't done anything to protect the common investor at all. So
Yeah.
the need to have them is diminishing even more and more every day.